Welcome, dear students, and welcome to my AK Karmokar online class. Today's lesson is for the students of class 9 and 10, and my topic is transformation, and it is very important for class 9 and 10, especially not only for the class 9 and 10 but also the students of intermediate, that means 11 and 12 classes. So it's a very easy, I think, and it's very tough as a transformation. Now it's a very good news that our Borishal Education Board has given us a good news that simple, complex and compound will not be selected for the question of SSC. So you will practice without simple, complex and compound, because simple, complex and compound as a transformation won't come to your examination. So now I will discuss sentence, voice and positive comparative. It's a practice, only for practice. So here is a question only for 10 sentences, and you will solve these 10 sentences as direction. Now the first sentence, he behaves very nicely. Exclamatory, you have to make it exclamatory. He behaves very nicely. Dear students, you will listen very carefully, and then I will discuss it. How will you solve this question? Now first question, he behaves very nicely. Exclamatory. The exclamatory, what's the theory of making sentence exclamatory? Here is a very important thing, that when you make it exclamatory, you will start with what or how, what or how. And if you find in a sentence, you will use what at first. And if you don't find you will use how. Now he behaves very nicely, there is no uses of a or an. So you have to start with this sentence, how. So its answer will be, how nicely he behaves. How nicely he behaves. আমি একটু বাংলার সঙ্গে অ্যাড করে দিই, তাহলে তোমাদের বুঝতে সুবিধা হবে। যখন তুমি দেখবে এন আছে, তখনই তুমি হট দিয়ে শুরু করবে, আর এন না থাকলে হাউ দিয়ে শুরু করবে। কেউ কেউ ভুলে বলে যে ভেরি থাকলে হাউ দেই বা হট দেই, এই জাতীয় কথাগুলো সঠিক নয়। তো ডিয়ার স্টুডেন্টস, how nicely he behaves. Now next number question, what a man. What a man. Assertive. But I can find here that there is no subject. What a man and verb. There is no subject and verb. So firstly you have to understand, you have to think that it's a very hard to you. No, it's not a hard. You have to imagine, and you have to suppose that here is a he is. What a man he is. So its assertive sentence will be, he is a great man. He is a great man. Here is a question to me as a student, that sir, you have used very here, but you have used great here. What's the cause? Here is the cause. Where does very use and where does great use? Here is a man. Man is a noun. Man is a noun, and nice, it's an adjective or adverb. So very is used before adjective and great is used before noun. So he is a great man. He is a great man. Okay, dear students, now number 3. His intelligence should be praised. His intelligence should be praised. You have to make it active. So what's the active form of his intelligence should be praised? Here is a question, that there is no object, that will be subject. Here is an important thing, but it's a very easy. When you find this kind of sentence, of course you have to make a subject, and you have to suppose a word that will be subject, that his intelligence should be praised. That means there is no word that will be subject. So we can suppose here we, that we should, that means should be changed into should. That means we should, and praised will be turned into phrase. That means after can, shall, will, should, would, of course the next verb will be present form. So we should praise, and subject will be object. That means we should praise his intelligence. That means its answer will be the we should praise his intelligence. We should praise his intelligence. Okay, dear students, his intelligence should be praised. That means its active form will be we should praise his intelligence. Okay, dear students, now number D. He was never insincere to his work. He was never insincere to his work. And you will have to make it interrogative. How will you make it interrogative? He was never insincere. Interrogative, when you go to make it interrogative, of course you have to use auxiliary verb before subject. That what's the auxiliary verb in this sentence? Was. Was is an auxiliary verb. So you have to use at first. Was he. But here is a word never, and it's a word of negative, so you have to change it affirmative. And that means was he ever. That means when you make it interrogative, affirmative to negative and negative change into affirmative. So was he ever insincere to his work? Note of interrogation. Was he ever insincere to his work? It's very important that insincere won't be sincere. When you go to affirmative to negative and negative to affirmative, then you will change into sincere to insincere, insincere to sincere. But you have to make it interrogative. Now, was he ever insincere to his work? Okay, dear students. Now, the bee is the most industrious insect, and you will make it comparative. The bee is the most industrious insect. When you go to make it comparative, then the bee is and the will be omitted. The bee is more industrious, and you will use here than any other. The bee is more industrious than any other insect. Okay, dear students, it's a very easy to you as a student of class 9 and 10, and it's a very easy rule for making comparative and positive. So now number F, man is the best creation. You will make it positive. Man is the best creation. What's the rule of making positive? You will use here with no other. At first you have to use here no other. Man is the best creation, that means no other creation. No other creation is as, and best will be turned into good. So what's the positive form of best? Good is the positive form of best. So no other creation is as good as man. No other creation is as good as man. ডিয়ার স্টুডেন্টস, তোমাদের একটা কথা স্মরণ করিয়ে দেই, আমি কিন্তু এটার অ্যান্সারটা লিখে এখানে দেইনি এই কারণে, যেহেতু এটি হচ্ছে তোমার জন্য একটি প্র্যাকটিস, খাতায় লিখবে এবং আমি বলে দিলাম তোমরা খাতায় করবে, আমারটা কতটুকু মনে রাখতে পারো। আর একটা বিষয় হচ্ছে এই সমস্ত টপিকগুলো তোমরা অবশ্যই 8-এ করেছো, যারা 10-এর স্টুডেন্ট তারা 9-এও করেছো, যে কারণের জন্য আমি এটা লিখে না দিয়ে তোমাদেরকে জাস্ট একটু নিজেদেরকে খাটানোর জন্য আমার প্রয়াসটা আমি চালালাম। অবশ্যই তোমরা খাতায় লিখবে এবং সেটা এখানে উত্তরটা নিজেরাই তৈরি করবে, যেহেতু আমি বুঝিয়ে দিচ্ছি। ওকে ডিয়ার স্টুডেন্টস, নাও নাম্বার জি, ইন্ডাস্ট্রি brings success and you have to make it passive. So what's the rule of making passive? Object will be subject, then industry brings success, the success and it's a present form, so you will use here is. The success is and bring turned into participle form. The success is brought by industry. Success is brought by industry. Now next number, success is brought by industry. And now next number is we know him. We know him. Here is important sentence for making passive, but it is very easy to make interrogative. But when you make it passive, know past participle form known, and here by is not used here, but to is used here. However, now we will make it interrogative. We know him and it's a present form, so you have to use here do, and there is no symbol of negative, so you have to use here negative. That means don't we know him, don't we know him, and you will use note of interrogation, don't we know him. Now number I, Illiteracy is a curse. Illiteracy is a curse. Make it negative. So illiteracy is not a, what's the antonym word of curse? Blessing or boon. Blessing. Illiteracy is not a blessing. Now number J, and it's the last question. He is not indolent at all, and you have to make it affirmative. He is not indolent at all. That means at all will be changed into, when you go to make it assertive or negative, at all change into very. That means he is not indolent at all. That means he is very, and you will use here antonym word of indolent. That means active. That means he is very active. He is very active. Okay, dear students. Now we have to question, revise from very beginning. That means he behaves very nicely. Make it exclamatory. নিশ্চয়ই তোমাদের মনে আছে, how nicely he behaves, what a man, he is a great man, his intelligence should be praised, we should praise his intelligence, he was never insincere to his work. Interrogative, was he ever insincere to his work? The bee is the most industrious insect. Comparative, the bee is more industrious than any other insect. Man is the best creation. Positive, man is better than any other creation. It's a comparative, and যদি পজিটিভ করতে বলা হয় তখন হয়ে যাবে no other creation is as good as man. No other creation is as good as man. Now industry brings success. Success is brought by industry. We know him. Don't we know him? And illiteracy is a curse. That means illiteracy is not a blessing, and he is very active. Okay, dear students, আমরা অবশ্যই খাতায় এগুলো বারবার লিখব এবং এর উত্তরটা করার চেষ্টা করব। This sentence are very important for the SSC examinee and JSC examinee. So you have to practice it very carefully. আর এই প্যান্ডামিক সিচুয়েশনে আমরা সবাই স্বাস্থ্যবিধি মেনে চলব, মাস্ক পরব। Thank you.